analysis and prediction of accidental coincidence background of low S2 events within Xenon 1T detector. My name's Aiden Choi.
I'm Alex Johnston.
And I'm Matthew McLaren.
So I'll introduce our project. So the goal of Xenon 1-ton detector is to observe how weakly interacting massive particles, a potential dark matter candidate, interact with normal matter. Unfortunately, electron recoil and nuclear recoil events present in the detector can stimulate the photomultiplier tubes in a way that can be mistaken for data from WIMP interactions. So we aim to distinguish these background events and remove them from the data so that the WIMP interactions can be better analyzed. And this will hopefully allow us to gain better insight into the nature of the matter that comprises most of our universe. So S1 events are scintillations caused by WIMP interactions with liquid xenon in the detector. Electrons ejected during the S1 flow up the electric field present in the detector to the gaseous xenon interface at the top. And this is where an S2 event occurs, which releases an amount of light proportional to the number of ejected electrons. Andrew, if you want to take it from here.
Thank you very much, Alex. Going to talk about how we actually use the data and sifted through it. Generally speaking, we had to actually associate each S1 event with another S2 event. We're not going to go too much into the algorithm we use to find it, but just generally as a constraint, S1s and S2s have to be within a millisecond of each other, with the S1 preceding the S2. This sort of proximity in time ensures that one observation leads to another. Anything that does not fall into these pairs is discarded as a cut. In addition to this, this pair cut, we applied very simpler cuts other than this, such as the drift times. They had to be within a specific interval. There's things like the R values. This is like the radius from the center of the detector. We had to make sure that those were in a certain interval as well. All of these cuts are generally put there to make sure that we have the proper interactions that we want to study. For instance, twofold coincidence shows that PMTs, the only two find a specific S1 interaction. And there are a variety of other cuts that we've had, but to actually go into the actual findings that we found from these cuts, I'm going to pass it off to Matt to talk about that.
Yeah, so we found that in our R-squared values, there were 3 specific peaks that we wanted to look at. There was a lot of recordings being around 400 centimeters squared, one of them being around 900 centimeters squared, one of them being around 1,300 centimeters squared. What this kind of tells us is that those ranges are intervals of interest in our research in detecting these low S2 counts. And some of our goals that are for the future, we have 3 of them. One of those consisting of developing new algorithms to find S1 and S2 pairs within our data. This can be either modifying our cuts that we've already made or making more strict requirements on our loops. The second one is to better identify background events being recorded in the detector. 2 of those being either electron recoil backgrounds or the nuclear recoil backgrounds. In the nuclear recoil backgrounds, the reason why we're trying to locate those is because they are so similar to the actual WIMP interactions. It's not technically considered the data that we're looking for. And our third goal is to calculate the total energy coming from both the S1 and the S2 peaks. Then we can try and figure out the rates that these events are being observed. Thank you guys for watching our video, and I hope you guys enjoy our poster.